Good evening. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like you to remember the victims and their families of 9/11, please. Roll call, please. French.
Here.
Geiger.
Here.
Masson.
Here.
Foreman.
Here.
Rutan. Here. Wolf.
Here.
Whistler. Here. Reading of the minutes and financial reports. Approve regular council meeting minutes dated August 27, 2018.
I move that we approve the council minutes from August 27, 2018.
Second, please.
Yes, second.
Thank you. Any discussion?
I'll second it.
There already was a second, sir. So it's second.
All right.
No discussion, vote please. French.
Yes.
Geiger.
Yes.
Masson.
Abstain.
Foreman.
Yes.
Rutan. Yes. Wolf.
Yes.
Whistler. Yes. Motion carries 7-0, abstention goes to the majority. Approved treasurer's report dated September 6, 2018.
I make a motion we approve the treasurer's report.
The second, please.
Second.
Any discussion? No discussion, vote please. French.
Yes.
Geiger.
Yes.
Masson.
Sorry, what was the motion?
It's to approve the treasurer's report, sir.
Yes.
Foreman.
Yes.
Rutan. No. Wolf.
Yes.
Whistler. No. Motion carries 5-2. Commission reports. Parks and Rec Commission. You have minutes for Planning Commission and BZA in the packet. Okay, thank you. Unfinished and other business. We'd like to invite Mary Kay Andrews, who's the
Oh, pardon me.
excuse
Do
me.
you have a report for Parks and Rec for
Pardon me.
Commission?
Sorry, Karen.
Thank you.
I'm so anxious to get through this. Thank you.
Tomorrow for the Planning Commission, we have a meeting. We have two pieces on the agenda, which should be relatively simple. We've also had several calls back and forth with the land use of Maple Bay. So we've been working through that. We've not had a lot of conversation, as we discussed during the last meeting, that we would meet with administration. That's not happened. So the attorney called me, as did the representative, so we've been working on that. And I'm hoping that we can get access to village resources to get this one through. But
What do you mean, Karen?
once the Planning Commission does their process through it, we'll need the engineers to review that. So I would like to get permission that we in fact have potentially valued as a resource and the engineers, so that we can get this done, because there has been no communication other than what was sparked last week when I talked to the attorney, and then suggested the attorney talked about it.
Yeah, we sure don't need
Plan
to
that needs to
delay
be
it.
moved on. Correct. So I sent you all an email last week, because there wasn't any correspondence between administration and the Planning Commission nor the builders. It's been a month. So they presented it to the Planning Commission a month ago. We had a good meeting in Licking County, and nothing's been done since then until last week when they called me. So I just want to continue to put this on the front burner and say that the Planning Commission likes to get their work done, and the only way we're going to get that work done is if we work with administration and that's still not happening until I walked in today and Peggy said, well, look at this. I shouldn't have to send emails, and I shouldn't have to wait a month to get that done. So I'm putting it out there.
We hope that gets expedited much faster.
Yeah, thank you.
I would make a motion
Thank you.
that we, as council, have Valerie work with the planning commission for however long it is. Go ahead.
I am not the development director. I am not
This is
paid
not
as the
a-
development director. That is not in my job duties.
We are not asking you to do a development director's job. We are asking you to assist the planning commission with the stuff like what you
Process.
have, with this process, which you have done before.
When I was the
And that is well
development
within
director.
council's perusal to assign tasks as they deem necessary. And I think that this needs to be done until, she can help out like she has in the past.
And I am with planning commission. However, I haven't been paid for that job since 2010. And I have 2 other jobs out there that I have to keep up with.
Mayor's Court, is that correct?
Mayor's Court and Council.
All right, and we've not had Mayor's Court in how long?
A few months, we still have
Alright.
activity going on in Mayor's Court
I
because we still
understand
have a
that.
caseload.
Bill, can you have maybe a personnel committee meeting and deal with this?
We need to get the clerk, we have an office, another office guy. We need to get Karen some help, however we do it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think Cheryl has the expertise that Valerie
I see.
does.
I'd be glad to do that, but I do not have an interest in doing it for free.
Then,
Well, maybe we can assign some of her duties from council to work with Karen on this. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's why I thought our personnel chair might be able to figure this out, since there's position descriptions, et cetera, available, right?
And we've talked in the past about asking whether Valerie was willing to help with this, and then seeing if we could extend her hours so that we made sure she was able to do it. I didn't know if that was still...
And I have not given an answer as to whether that was
Okay.
available.
Well, the bottom line is, I think we need to hire a development director, and we've got to find the money for even a part-time person.
Okay.
Thank you. That needs to be considered as soon as possible. Let's go on. Mary Kay, would you like to come up, please?
Sure, is there a motion on the table, or?
No.
I'll resend it. But something needs to be done, because we can't afford to lose this development. And at the rate we're going with no cooperation, it's gonna happen, and we can't afford to do that.
And we can't afford the bad PR that this is sending out. That is
Exactly.
difficult to deal with, as has been
And it's
the
really
reason in the
offensive.
past.
Karen, can you forward me the number of hours of time you may need? You forecast, you need so many hours of clerical time. We can find you somebody to help you.
What it's going to boil down to is there has to be communication with the developer, which I don't think that's a lot of time, but we need to have, the planning commission needs to have access to someone who has good information and also contact. I'll give you for example. I've spent a lot of time on this project because I did it 12 years ago, so I know the project. But when we look at what are the legal aspects of it and what are the charter aspects, we have 3 people that know that information well. That would be Valerie, that would be our attorney, and that would be our engineer. Our engineer will have to review this project. Part of that is just, you need to pay them to do it. You need to have access to them. So we can talk all day long about putting stuff in writing. One, writing takes a lot longer when you're trying to have a discussion about, well, if we do this, what is this? If we do this, what is this? So the amount of time isn't a lot, but communication is what's incredibly important. It's so you can do the what ifs or the whys, so you're not wandering around aimlessly. And as I suggested, I spent a lot of time on the phone with the county cleaner last week, and part of that is because they hired Connie to be their attorney, and two, Connie was on this project 12 years ago, so both of us know it intimately. Does that cut down the time?
Yeah.
Dramatically. But I still have to work through our engineer, because it will have to go through our engineer, because nobody in the planning commission is an engineer. And it may cause our attorney just to look at a couple things, maybe, to say, did we process this correctly? And we've already done, Valerie and the mayor, we all spent time with Licking County. So to say an exact hour, I don't know. As we've done in the past, the reality is we might, on an ongoing basis, get 15 applications. If you get 15 applications, that takes a lot more time. If you get 2 or 3, it doesn't take as much. When you let them linger, issues compound and it takes more time.
Do you have a dollar amount you may need?
Time.
Time. It's time.
That's time, and I could sit down with Valerie, because Valerie, again, is the person, in my opinion, that knows this best.
Yeah.
To say, really, let's look historically of what we've had. You know, what is it, how often do we need to call in an engineer? How often do we need to call in some other things? And how much of her time did it really take? And there's 2 layers. There's what do we need, meaning the planning commission, when an application comes to us?
Yeah.
And the other part is, what about all these new people coming to the village that need information? And we haven't experienced a lot of that in the past, but I would expect that we're going to get a lot more of that in the future. So that is an unknown. So I don't mean to be really wishy-washy, but I think we have to sit down and really figure it out.
Figure it out.
So I don't want to make up a number.
Maybe give me a call
Thanks.
this week.
Okay.
Yeah, me too. Thank you. Sorry, Mary Kay, delay. Thank you. Yes, please, thank you.
Good evening, Ms. Whistler, Mayor Wells, Council. Thank you so much for asking me to be here this evening. I'm Mary Kay Andrews, Superintendent of Lakewood Local School District, and I'm here this evening to talk about our bond that is put on the ballot of this November. First of all, I'd like to backtrack a little bit. There's a conversation I had with students in 2015 when I first came to Lakewood. It started in January of 2015, and our facilities need a lot of work. And who better to tell me what our children experience than to actually hold focus groups with our students. So I met with students in every building. The current seniors, I remember that conversation very well. And they said to me, when I asked them what they saw in their facilities, what were some of the things that they needed in their facilities, what they said to me was, Mrs. Andrews, it seems like people don't care. We go to other school districts, we see what other school districts have, and this was the case of the middle school. The student said, we have a building that has half air conditioning and half not air conditioning, and we have science labs that are not up to date. So from that point on, starting in December of 2015, we put together a facilities plan that addressed needed improvements in the mechanicals as well as some necessary improvements in our facilities with current funding. During that time, we also began putting aside $500,000 annually in our capital improvement fund, which has been necessary for some of the improvements that we've made currently. What we've done currently, we have, in both at the high school and the middle school, we added safety vestibules to those buildings. In the middle school, we have done a complete asbestos abatement in that building. We have upgraded our science lab, upgraded restrooms, added an additional restroom, amongst many other things that we've been able to do over the course of the past 3 years. So now it's time. now it's time for the biggest investment that the school district will make if the voters so approve this bond. So why is there a bond on the ballot? We were fortunate enough in December of 2017, we purchased 16 acres behind Jackson B, which is, we call the building on the hill, right along Lancers Road. We purchased that in December of 2017 to set us up for what we hope is the building of a pre-K through 5 elementary school. The bond includes the building as well as the pre-K through 5, and you have some fast facts in front of you, and I've left some for the community as well, of what actually is also included in that bond. The new pre-K through 5 will include a storm shelter, plus we would have improvements to our middle school and our high school. For example, our middle school does not have a fire suppression system. We would add that and pay for that with the bond, as well as completing the air conditioning, which is needed in that building. So we've made the decision to build new because of the recommendations of the Ohio Facilities Construction Commission, and the cost to renovate the school would be more than 80% of the cost to build new, and that's the threshold that is used. So the bond would also include some needed improvements at the high school, and that is included on your list. So exactly what is on the ballot? The total cost of the project is $39.8 million, and that does include a 6% construction cost increase. As you know, costs increase annually. The cost to build increases annually, and right now we're looking at a projected interest rate of 4.5%. We've chosen to finance this over 28 years. The majority of school districts who have a bond such as this presented to the community is roughly 37 years. That's the average in the state of Ohio. We believe that financing it over 28 years positions our district well and does save our taxpayers roughly $13.7 million, and we're asking for 5.10 mils roughly for this project. So the cost of the tax to the taxpayer, a $150,000 home in the chart that I've provided to you shows that, as well roughly $267.75 per year. So you have a breakdown on your fast facts that show what we would be paying for. So we do believe that this is the right time for the bond. The elementary school is our #1 priority. So the plan, the projected plan that we have put together shows us that we would secure the cost of the building, begin building that building before any other projects would be completed in the district, any of the large projects. We want to make sure that elementary, that pre-K through 5 is a priority. Our high school is paid off in 2026, so that's good news for everybody. And that would save the homeowner of a $100,000 home roughly $71 a year when that is paid off in 2026. We have put together many resources for our community. Hopefully you get a chance to take advantage of some of them. If you go to the Lakewood website and you click on facilities, we have a tax calculator out there. You can actually plug in your address, or you can plug in your name, and it'll give you an estimate of how much roughly you would be paying as a taxpayer for the bond. We also have a resource there where if you're a qualifying individual for seniors 65 and older, you could qualify for the homestead exemption. And that resource is there at the click of a button right underneath that tax calculator if you want to get out and take a look at that as well. So that is roughly an overview of our bond, some of the fast facts. We have a lot of activities coming up. You have an invitation to an open house at Hebron Elementary this Friday. It's at 5:30. We'll be holding our Board of Education meeting at 6:30 in the gymnasium. We'll have some snacks in the cafeteria if you would like to join us. And I also have cards here from the Lancer Pride Committee, who has a lot of resources as well on their social media site. So we are We're hitting the ground running. We've got a great group of volunteers, and we're also taking our information to communities and neighborhoods. So we have many neighborhood presentations, small home presentations, neighbors that want to get together and, you know, invite someone in to talk about the levy and maybe run the tax calculator a little bit. So if you know anyone that would like to have us come in and talk to their group or in their homes, we'd be happy to do that.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
Appreciate
thank
your
you.
comment.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Mary, can I do have one question for you, if you don't mind? The new elementary school, can you give me the district boundaries? That's encompassing about what area?
Well, actually, I believe I brought a handout. About that, I printed them out right when I left the office, and I'll leave them here for the community as well if they want to take a look at them.
May I ask a question real quick? How old is he in school?
105, I believe?
The old part,
Yes.
and the new part in the back?
I would need to check on the dates of those additions.
70.
Yeah.
Yeah, the wing back is probably 70.
One of the questions that we get frequently is, many school districts are able to participate in the state facilities commission financing, and our district is considered, because of property values, a high wealth district by the state. So, I'm going to say, Charlie's going to write down some numbers perhaps, of over 600 school districts in the state of Ohio, we probably would not see any funding from the state for about 20 years. So the reliance is going to be on our taxpayers. We do have that information on our website too, if you want to learn a little bit more about how we fall in the state of Ohio and if we're eligible or not.
For making this easy, a lot of the kids on Buckeye Lake would be going to this new elementary school, is that?
Yes, our school
Okay.
district, like the local school district. So what you have here is a layout of the property at Lancers and Route 40. The big blue box there is the possible location of the pre-K through 5. And what you see in the rectangle here is the additional land we purchased in December. So this is the 16 acres back up and through here. And so what we really like about number one, our students will have fewer transitions in one building. I don't know if you realize or not, but Jackson, our students between kindergarten and 6th grade transition 4 buildings. They go through 4 buildings before at 6th grade would be their 4th building. We have 3 buildings that we run at Jackson, that's the 3, 4, 5 building. And then we have Hebron Elementary, which is K2. We just moved our preschool to Jackson B to get them out of the basement at Hebron this year.
And no air conditioning in some of them?
No air conditioning in Hebron. None. This actually would even separate the parent and bus drop-offs, which is what we like. We think it's safer for our children. You can have an idea about where that building would land on that property. Another question we get is the building designed? No, the building is not designed. We're going to use our community and our stakeholders to help us do that. We know roughly how large it has to be, and that determines the cost of the bond. Okay, but our community will help us design it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Really appreciate
I'll leave
it.
you here.
Thank you. Valerie?
It's that time of year when we need to establish our trick-or-treat date. And we received a phone call from Hebron Elementary, or from Hebron Village Hall, and they are establishing their trick-or-treat night for October 31st. I would suggest doing the same for our folks, just simply because that makes it so that you have a consistent date between both communities. They asked if we would consider establishing our dates at the same.
What day was that?
October 31st, it's a Wednesday night.
Is that also trunk or treat night over at the park?
We would have to get in touch with the folks for trunk or treat. They usually schedule it based on when we do our trick or treat.
You call them.
I can, yes, and it would be 5:30 to 7 is when we usually do it. I would need a motion if you wish to do that.
So moved.
Okay, thank you.
Second, please. Any
Who is
discussion?
the second, please?
Second.
Thank you.
No discussion. Vote.
French,
Yes.
Geiger,
Yes.
Lasone,
Yes.
Gorman,
Yes.
Gruson,
Yes.
Wolf,
Yes.
Whistler.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0, thank you.
Thank you. Committee shall meet and give reports in the following order. Finance, please.
I have nothing tonight.
Public safety. That's all.
Sorry.
Do you have a report?
Public safety,
Yes.
nothing to report. Well, I do have something.
Okay.
It looks like the sidewalks have been completed on North Bank. The access road / bike path has been completed. Topsoil's been backfilled and everything. Everything's been seeded. The big fence has been removed, and the little fence has been moved to allow people to walk on the sidewalk.
Big improvements, right?
Yeah, all that happened in a week.
Good. Thank you. Public service.
Yes, the Public Service Committee met last Tuesday to hear a presentation from Archer Electricity, or Energy Company. Rep. Boyle did the presentation, and I have not heard anything back from Mary Weiss yet with AEP, so I will be contacting her again to see when she could do a presentation, whether it's by phone or, emailing handouts or something like that. But at this point, it seems like AEP is the cheaper of the two. The other energy company that I contacted has not responded in any way, shape, or form.
Okay, thank you. John?
Work on rules is progressing. We have a meeting next Monday. Hopefully, we'll have a finalized draft for review by the committee. Other than that, that will report.
What time do you want to meet Monday?
It's on the agenda. I think we called it before. I didn't bring my
6 o'clock,
calendar.
yes,
6
sir.
o'clock?
I think it's 6
Yes.
p.m.
Yeah.
That's Monday the 17th, 6
Yes.
o'clock for rules. Thank you. Community development,
We got the house boarded out next to the community center, so that way it should be at least safe until we can get it torn down. Hopefully, that will be in the next month or two, depending on the weather. Let's see what else. For the community center, we do have a tenant there now who's paying monthly rent, so that's helping with our basic needs. And the $10,000 challenge grant that Kitty helped us obtain, we're getting closer and closer to meeting that goal. So,
and we need to thank a couple of people who gave $500 each this week.
well, we did. The mayor donated $500. Andy Wolf donated $500.
So thank you, Mayor.
And we've had several other donors for things.
So we're getting close. So the request is still out there. If you have a few extra dollars, you can use them. Because if you give anything, it's essentially double. Because that we will then have $20,000 to do the outside of the center, which will look something like the bank across the road. Gary McAnally did the architectural drawing free. Everyone's welcome to go there.
And this past Sunday, Buckeye Lake 2030 hosted an event for Richard Cordray, who's the Democratic candidate for governor. And so, it was at the Yacht Club, and it was just an opportunity for them to kind of talk with a potential governor candidate, and discuss some of the needs of the community, some of the issues that we've had as far as dealing with ODNR, and trying to kind of help get some more support for the community in general.
Thank you. Personnel, Phil?
I've been trying to organize the employee handbook to a certain extent, so we can eventually get to the point where we have a committee meeting. It's become quite difficult since we're talking about incorporating council rules, charter rules, And then especially Mr. Hunter, Clay Carroll had brought him in a couple of years ago to give some advice. He's an attorney. He gave us some advice, apparently. And I have a lot of information from him that I'd like to incorporate also, and it would drastically affect the personnel committee. So that's why
So how-
it's taken a while to get things together because of that.
So how and when can we expect one?
Well,
Do you want within a
I'm
couple
working
of
about
weeks?
every day on it, at least a few hours a day, and it's just, again, combining. But one thing I would like to suggest again, and I know Tom had mentioned at last meeting, we've been going back and forth, but we do need to get the charter reviewed together because that actually has affected what I'm doing also.
Okay.
So if we can
We
maybe,
need to get
I know we were
some-
supposed to start in January and things have happened, but,
Mm.
you know, we're due to get a report by the end of the year, and we don't have a committee yet, so maybe it's a good time to get the committee together and
Okay,
get going on that.
let's do that. Okay, thank you. Citizens' comments, please.
Yeah, some notes from the,
Okay.
You okay?
I'm sorry, we're discussing. Anyhow.
That's fine, thank you. Citizens' comments, please. Report of mayor. I saw the mayor had one in the package.
I do. Let me
Come
just,
on, Stephen.
may I?
Sure.
Would you like to hear from me?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, this is, every meeting, I provide a pretty comprehensive report of what's been happening, the highlights anyway. Let me just share with you that I think everybody appreciates the work of Shelley Company of completing Hunt's Landing Road. That was funded 95% from the Ohio Public Works Commission. We appreciate that. We just heard from ODOT that we are being funded for, again, 95% project for our 2018 curb and sidewalk plan that we have. The police department got a new HVAC system. I appreciate council funding that. Lincoln County Prosecutor Bill Hayes, after 2 years, Mr. Hayes has stepped up and personally took it upon himself to deal with 90 Leroy Street, which has been a terrible situation over there for that neighborhood to deal with. So he's got that set for first and second auction if necessary. Chief Wardlow, who couldn't be here tonight, I don't believe, just completed a 1-week training for, required training for new police chiefs in London. I want to tell you, Michelle couldn't be here tonight because she's ill. Been working for the last 3 or 4 days, the prior week, even though she was ill. We put a new phone system in after taking multiple bids. That's being funded within the already approved budget. And I've appointed 4 members to the screening panel for the RFQs for the municipal bridge project that's a few years out. I've given each of you council folks a letter from ODOT about the new grant that we're going to be getting. Just want to make one comment. Nobody's wandering around and on what we're doing. I think this sort of report proves that I'm not wandering around, not knowing what I'm doing. Our council, our staff is working very hard. I appreciate what they do every day. We have also, our staff has also been in communication with Connie Clemma, the attorney. We've got a lot of materials and information that we've studied from the county. The planning commission is not being shut out. They may not be on the same timetable I'm on. However, council can be assured that this administration will not stand in the way of any development. This administration will do all it can to support development in due time, but we will not hold it up as we have earned quite a reputation to do so in the past. So you can be assured things are being taken care of, and it's not necessary to
you know, to appropriate special funds to do what Ms.
Okay, thank you very much.
Excuse me, let me just finish my sentence, to do what Ms. Cookson is suggesting. Thank you very much, Council President, for the time.
Oh, you're welcome, thank you. Ms. Reton?
Yeah, I have a question as to why members were appointed to a screening panel when I think it was pretty much made obvious, not at the last Public Service Committee meeting, but the one before that, that I would have preferred that the committee, as well as Toby and some of the Planning Commission members, go over the RFQ. Why wasn't I notified about that? Why wasn't I notified about the fact that the RFQs are, I don't know, are they in?
Have you seen them?
No. Nobody has communicated any of that.
Aren't they supposed to come in and be time-stamped and dated for all of us to see?
Well, I know I would like for my committee to see them and be a part of the process. I know Bill's on my committee. I don't know if John, are you on? Okay.
Mr. Reton, are you asking me to answer that question, or are you just putting it out there for everybody?
Well, I don't have an answer, maybe you have an answer, Mayor.
Yes, I certainly do have an answer. As you'll see on point 8 of this mayor's report, it says that the mayor appointed 4 to serve on the panel. The members are John Geiger, Bill French, who both have experience with similar projects. Planning Commission member Dick Williams, who has extensive engineering experience, and Toby Miller. As Toby emphasized to council, I think on 2 different occasions, this is things were going to be coming fast, and we needed to take care of things. If we would wait for council, as you know, when you haven't even your charter review commission, which was supposed to happen in January, if we wait for this body to select, to review the RFQs, which we have received, I believe, 8, Toby, is it 8 or 10? 8 or 10? And any person on this council is certainly welcome to come into this office and pick up, we'll copy all 8 for you. But this is an administrative function to make sure that this is done in a timely way. I chose individuals, and we talked about this at 2 different committee meetings, and certainly nobody stepped forward. Nobody called me up. Nobody talked to Toby and said, I want to be on that.
Okay.
If we did, so there's your answer.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Communication never done, like Karen said.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Katie.
You're welcome. I'd like to report a couple of items. There is a Buckeye Lake 2030 meeting on Saturday morning at 9 o'clock at Lakewood High School, and this is to look at the state of the region and to review the BL 2030 corporation activities, and there'll be a PowerPoint, and then there's a task force and public question and answer. Also, Superintendent Mary Kay will give a quick synopsis of what you heard tonight, actually, and there'll be a free lunch for those who are willing to give the time.
What time is that again,
At
please?
9 o'clock Saturday morning at Lakewood High School. The other thing that we're working on is a petition to the governor and the elected officials to try and get a new dredger on the lake. The dredger costs $1.2 million, and it's called Anelica 426, I think, and we're hoping that the governor and all will fund it, and there's even a possibility that we could do a public-private partnership, so some big corporation might put it in if they do the dredging, but that will have a real impact on the depth of the water and on boating in the future of this lake, and especially on the environment. Right now, the silt and dredge material is being pulled up with the boats that are going through and causing an environmental problem and adds to the, pollution. So, thank you. I need permission to read an ordinance, please.
Which one would you like to read?
2018-31.
31.
First one.
Move to read ordinance number 2018-31.
Second.
Thanks. Yeah, wait, is that the one? No, that's the second one. No, it was in your packet, but I got it. Ordinance number 2018-31. Can you call the vote? Can you call the vote, please?
French,
Yes.
Geiger,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
Foreman,
Yes.
Rutan,
Yes.
Wolf,
Yes.
Whistler.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0. First reading is official.
Go ahead, read it. Amending ordinance 2018-18, permanent appropriation ordinance and declaration of emergency. An ordinance to amend appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the Village of Buckeye Lake, State of Ohio during the year ending December 31st, 2018.
You don't have to read the
Send it on.
body.
Kitty, I'd like to make a motion that ordinance be moved to the Finance Committee September 24th for discussion at 6:30.
Okay, I need a second, please.
Second.
Who is the second, please?
So.
John,
Thank you.
any discussion?
And what's the date for the Finance Committee?
September 24th, 6:30. Discuss details
Okay.
of ordinance.
Does that give you a,
2018.
do you want to do it at 6?
1831.
We do it at 6. Do it at 6. Can you do it?
To give you enough
Can
time
do
to
it
have
at 6?
discussion?
I could do it at 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, 6 o'clock.
Yeah, thank you.
Give me 1 second. I would assume that that means you're tabling it. You're motioning to table.
Right.
I make a motion, we table it.
And there was already a motion, a second on the table.
Good.
Okay.
You just vote, please.
French,
Yes.
Geiger,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
Foreman,
Yes.
Rutan,
Yes.
Wolf,
Yes.
Whistler.
Thank you.
Motion
Yes.
carries 7-0.
Thank you.
Ordinance 2018-31 will go to the Finance Committee on the 24th, and then come back to council when council is ready.
Yes, thank you. I need permission to read ordinance 2018-32.
I move that we have read ordinance 2018-32.
Second, please.
Second.
Thank you. Okay. ordinance number 2018-30.
Hang on, you have to tell me to call the roll.
Call the roll, please.
French,
Yes.
Geiger,
Yes.
Masson,
Yes.
Foreman,
Yes.
Ruton,
Yes.
Wolf,
Yes.
Westler.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0. First reading is official.
Go ahead and read that. Amending ordinance 2018 permanent appropriation ordinance and declare a declaration of emergency. An ordinance to amend appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the Village of Buckeye Lake, State of Ohio, during the year ending December 31st, 2018.
Yes, you only have to read the ball.
Yeah. So, we need to,
No, you've got a motion to suspend the rules
can we
first.
suspend the rules, please? Motion, and then a second. Can I have a second?
Second.
Please, suspend the rules. Now,
Just ask me to vote.
you want to vote?
French,
Yes.
Geiger,
Yes.
Masson,
Yes.
Foreman,
Yes.
Ruton,
Yes.
Wolf,
Yes.
Westler.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Motion to adopt?
I'll second it.
Yes.
Discussion, please? No discussion? The vote, please?
French,
Yes.
Geiger,
Yes.
Masson,
Yes.
Foreman,
Yes.
Ruton,
Yes.
Wolf,
Yes.
Westler.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
First reading of the resolution, please?
Just have reading of resolution 2018-03.
I'll second it.
Second, please.
You have to ask me to call for the roll first. French,
Yes.
Geiger,
Yes.
Masson,
Yes.
Foreman,
Yes.
Ruton,
Yes.
Wolf,
Yes.
Westler.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0. First reading is official. You just read title one. That's all you
Yes.
read.
A resolution requiring the village solicitor to share all communications in writing directly with the
Time out.
council.
That's not the one that we're reading. That's not 2018-03.
You don't have an oath, right?
Yes, you do.
Well, I haven't seen it. Hold on.
Yes, you do. It was in your
Hold
packet.
on. Oh, this is the usual one, right?
That's a normal one, yes.
Okay, this is just a normal one that we usually have. So it's 2018-03. It's a resolution accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor.
No, you did not.
Yeah, that's what I was just giving them.
Okay, that's fine.
What else is getting them?
Do you want, any discussion on
If
that?
you want to suspend the rules, you have to ask for a motion.
I need a motion.
I'll give you a motion to suspend the rules.
Second.
I thought it was right.
Yes.
Okay, vote please.
French,
Yes.
Geiger,
Yes.
Masson,
Yes.
Foreman,
Yes.
Ruton,
Yes.
Wolf,
Yes.
Whistler.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0. Do you want a motion to adopt?
Motion to adopt, please?
Move to adopt resolution 2018-03.
I'll second.
Vote please.
You have to call for discussion.
Oh, do you want discussion on this? If no discussion, vote please.
French,
Yes.
Geiger,
Yes.
Masson,
Yes.
Foreman,
Yes.
Ruton,
Yes.
Wolf,
Yes.
Whistler.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Legislation is effective in 30 days.
Madam Chairperson, in light of the 2 additional resolutions, I need to run out and get vote sheets. So if we could take a quick recess to allow me to get vote sheets.
Sure.
Because I don't have any vote sheets for these.
Five.
I'm doing 4.
You're doing five.
I'm 4.
Spreading the pain.
I don't know if, John, I was talking with him, helping help moving on the house, and it's okay, honestly, I thought we were kind of canceled, I forgot to call Dave, and Dave called me, and I said, here, the other 2 guys, anyhow, so it didn't take long, I mean, it really didn't. He had as long as we had a good power girls, we just drilled the holes, and then, anyhow, but they stopped over towards the end to give his hand or something, and he has a grant request for the ODNR for a, I forget what it's called, it's like an ATV that is there. And so I'm going to talk to the Buckeye Lake Council and see if we can go the ODNR. Yeah. Right, they have grants for up to 50%.
Are you ready?
We're hoping that they'll just put it all
Do you know?
So, since Buckeye Lake 2030,
It may have a second.
regular contact with them.
Right.
Exactly.
I think it could be shared. Dr. Mazzone, are you ready? I'm ready. We're ready.
You're 4.
Yeah, you first.
I'd like to introduce a resolution. Is we all back?
Yes, come on back.
I'd like to introduce a resolution 2018-4, Village of Buckeye Lake, Ohio. A resolution requiring the village solicitor to share all
You
communications.
can't read it until you have a motion
A
and a
motion to,
second.
a motion.
I'll make a motion to read
Let's do
2018-04.
Thank you.
A second.
Go.
Okay, a resolution.
Hang on, we got a vote.
Tom and Kitty, can we ask you guys to speak into the mic? Because both of you are really difficult to hear in.
Oh,
I'm in
excuse
front
me.
row.
Pardon me.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Kitty, you have to ask me to do a roll call.
Do a roll call, please.
French?
Yes.
Geiger? Ms. Geiger?
Yes.
Mathone?
Yes.
Foreman?
Yes.
Ruton?
Yes.
Wolf?
Yes.
Whistler?
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0. Now you can do the reading of 2018-04.
A resolution requiring the village solicitor to share all communications in writing directly with the council president and all council members, and to do so at the same time as the mayor receives the communication, whereas the village solicitor is employed by the Village of Buckeye Lake, and the solicitor shall represent the Village of Buckeye Lake and/or anyone who represents the village, not just the mayor. The solicitor shall share all information pertaining to the Village of Buckeye Lake with the legislation body and commissions where appropriate. If any member of the legislative body or commissions has a question for the solicitor, the question shall be given to the council president in written form, and the council president will contact the solicitor for an answer. Therefore, be resolved by the Village of Buckeye Lake.
Thank you.
Do you want to suspend the rules?
To suspend the rules.
Okay, you have to have a motion.
I'll move to
Motion to
suspend the
suspend the rules, please, and second, please.
Second.
You have to ask me to call a roll call.
Roll call, please.
French,
Yes.
Geiger,
Yes.
Masson,
Yes.
Foreman,
Yep.
Ruton,
Yes.
Wolf,
Yes.
Whistler.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0. You have to ask for motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt.
So moved.
I'll second
Second,
that.
please. Discussion, please. If no discussion, vote, please.
French,
Yes.
Geiger,
Yes.
Masson,
Yes.
Foreman,
Yes.
Ruton,
Yes.
Wolf,
Yes.
Whistler.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Madam President, I'd like to also introduce resolution 2018-05.
We need to suspend the rules. We need a motion to read.
You have to have a motion to have
Motion
a
to read
reading.
reading, and a second, please.
Masson is your first.
I'll second
Your
it.
second.
Second, please. Suspend the rules.
You have to vote.
Oh, okay, vote, please.
French,
Yes.
Geiger,
Here. Yes.
are you saying yes or are you
Yes.
saying here?
Three.
Masson,
Yes.
Foreman,
Yes.
Ruton,
Abstain.
Wolf,
Yes.
Whistler.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0, abstention goes to majority.
No.
You have to have a motion to suspend the rules.
Suspend the rules.
Or, well, first of all, you have to read it. Please go ahead with reading the title only.
Okay, resolution 2018-05, Village of Buckeye Lake, Ohio. A resolution requiring the mayor of the Village of Buckeye Lake, Ohio to utilize the employee handbook, the charter, as well as the Ohio Revised Code in the discipline, demotion, or termination of an employee of the Village of Buckeye Lake, Ohio. The mayor must have prior authorization of the council to discipline, demote, or terminate an employee of the Village of Buckeye Lake, Ohio, and declaring an emergency.
Do you want a motion to suspend the rules?
Yeah, motion to suspend the rules.
I'll make a motion to suspend the
I need a
rules.
second, please.
Second.
Thank you.
Yes.
Vote, please.
French,
Yes.
Geiger,
No.
Masson,
Yes.
Foreman,
Yes.
Ruton,
Abstain.
Wolf,
Yes.
Whistler.
Yes.
Motion carries 6-1, abstention goes to majority.
Motion to adopt.
Yes.
Motion to adopt, please.
So moved.
A second, please.
I'll second it.
Yes, you will
Discussion,
second.
please. Any discussion necessary?
Yes.
Excuse me. Let's go for a vote then.
No, I heard Mr., or Counselor Geiger wanted discussion.
Discussion?
To me, this seems like a duplication of what we already have and what we already do. Can the author of this provide me with some additional background as to this resolution?
I'm not the author, but I don't know what you mean, duplication. The purpose is because the employee handbook hasn't been used, and our revised code hasn't been used.
Can you give an example for that, please?
Yes, when certain police officers were terminated, the handbook was not used. In fact, it's on record that the mayor said that he's an at-will employee, and she didn't want it. Same thing with the recent demotion of the fire chief, for no cause to a fireman, or he's not even a fireman, I forget what he was demoted to. So there are things in the employee handbook, and the present understanding or misunderstanding, however you want to take it, is that the charter is supreme. And the charter, the charter gives the mayor all the power. What we're trying to say is that there are other things that need to be consulted. You know, even when Supreme Court justices make a decision, they go to multiple sources to compile, information for the decision. That is not being done in our village. So that's what this is asking, it appears to me, even though I did not author it. It's saying, let's use the handbook, as well as the Ohio Revised Code and the charter, in order to be fair, and use multiple sources to make a big decision on someone's life.
Well, I might add, the charter, or the rules do
So it
state...
doesn't appear to duplicate anything.
Well, the rules state that the author, that resolutions must be presented with the authors, with the counselor's name, who makes the presentation. Again, that background is helpful. I knew nothing about any fire situation as it reaches this level.
Well, that would be pertain to the first resolution, 204, because if that's followed, you would have known about firing of a police chief, of a fire chief.
At what level does that go down to?
What level does that go down to?
All levels of employees?
No, I guess it is this, it's number 5. Number 5 would have assured you that you would have known. 5 and 4, that's what these accomplish. They're accomplishing what you're asking, so that you don't get blindsided at a meeting and find out the fire chief has been demoted.
Council President, may I address council on this?
Probably, I don't recommend that. We're in the middle of a
No, I'm
discussion
sorry.
on a motion.
This is a motion that we're in the middle of a process that council controls. I'd like to vote, please.
Well, I have one that is related to this versus waiting. We continually hear about getting things at the last minute. This is last minute to me. And I'm reading, and I'm trying to interpret and make value judgments here off the cuff as we go. And I thought at one point we had made a determination that these instant ordinances and resolutions does require at least some time to look at, understand fully, which is the reason I asked the questions and one of the reasons why I voted the way I did, because I haven't had an opportunity to understand it and understand the background. And I would hope...
Let me give you a story. Because what you say is true. I was watching Oprah once, and she had a married couple. They were married for 50 years, a man and a woman were next to her. And she took the mic and she said to the man, "What's the secret to your long marriage?" And the woman reached across and took the mic and said, we've been lucky. We agreed at the beginning that I would make all the easy decisions and he would make the hard decisions, and we've been blessed. They've all been easy decisions. You get it? So here, it seems that the mayor can make administrative tasks and decisions, and I guess the council is lucky that since January 1st, all the decisions have been administrative decisions and administrative tasks. What we're trying to say here is we disagree with that. And so if you want to put a value, so yes, this is a quickie resolution that was introduced at the last minute. But things are happening at a very fast pace here. And a fire chief has lost his job, and police officers have lost their job. And so we're really trying to protect the infrastructure of the county. So I think that warrants a quickly, an emergency resolution.
I agree.
Okay, end of discussion, please. Can we vote?
French,
Yes?
Geiger,
Yes.
Masson,
Yes.
Corman,
Yes.
Bruton,
Abstain.
Wolf,
Yes.
Whistler.
Yes,
Motion carries 7-0, abstention goes to majority.
thank you. Citizens' comments, please.
Cindy Stewart, 4537 North St. Road. I'm going to ask this council again to get some training. There's a giant difference between administrative and legislative, and the lines are being crossed. The charter clearly states it's a strong mayor form of government. You can't change charter without a vote of people. There were not 3 reads for anybody to weigh in on this. I picked up my information before the meeting started, and I didn't see 2 of those pieces of legislation. And I'm unhappy about the way this body is working, or not working. There are rules, and nobody's following them.
Thank you.
Charlene Hayden, 67 Lighthouse Lane. I think these 2 resolutions were very necessary because I believe council is not getting the information that they need to make their decisions. So everything is kind of swept under the carpet. It's just like we don't have police officers out there in the field. We have 2. And when are they on duty? Nobody really knows. So I've had private citizens asking me about the police department. I've had business people asking me about the police department. They're upset about it. So, council, I applaud you for taking the action that you did. Thank you.
Any other citizens' comments? Thank you. Council member comments? Barletta?
Before we start that point here, between items 15 and 16, according to the agendas that we're currently using, there should be an area for unfinished business. If I missed that, I'm sorry, in my reading of this agenda.
Unfinished and other business was up under number 4.
That was up under number 4. Way past that. We're way past that. We're ready to vote.
According to your rules, it's supposed to be in the bottom. You're using the wrong agenda.
We haven't modified this yet. That's one of the...
Well, we're not changing this.
You can't just change it on your own, Kitty.
I didn't change it. I take the agenda.
This has been a problem I've noticed for years because there were 2 different agendas.
Yeah.
And things were in different orders.
According to your rules.
And we
The
tried,
modifications are being made to adjust that so that the order is sequential.
so,
Similar,
So I'm going on the agenda that I got tonight.
Not by your rules, no. I guess you don't care about that.
we care about rules, we care about agendas. So my turn? Mr. Geiger.
Council President, move forward, please, with your
Thank you.
comments.
I just want to make a request that in regards to the Public Service Committee, anything in regards to that, I would like to be notified, and so that I can keep my committee updated as to what's going on. I would like to go over the RFQs as well, so I will be coming in and getting those to go over. I had a citizen's complaint over the weekend regarding the burglarization of a business. That was the KLA campground. They were burglarized over Labor Day weekend. 2 golf carts were stolen and 3 cabins had items stolen off the porch. They are wanting to know when we are going to be hiring police officers and getting boots on the ground. They're asking questions as to why the 2 officers we do have are not working or staggering their work hours to where they are covering the times that, the burglaries are happening. And this is something I think that needs to be top priority, because what's going to happen is somebody in the village is going to get hurt or potentially killed. This can't continue. So,
Thank you.
I pass it to the next.
John?
If anything, on these rules, we've got to get this agenda thing centralized, it's creating confusion. And if nothing else gets done, we'll present a recommended agenda change at probably the next meeting for review and trial. It's already been recommended. We'll try it out, see if it works.
Not at the last minute.
No, but
I like it.
I do not want that.
I think you're doing an excellent job.
Surprises.
You're doing a great job on the rules. So,
Well, don't you have a rules committee meeting on the 17th? Can you take
6
care of it
o'clock.
then, at 6
And if we
o'clock?
get nothing else accomplished, we will come up with a draft version of what's been recommended as far as the agenda changes, and then that agenda can be, as the committee recommended, voted on to try out and see if it fits better than the previous one.
Yes, that makes sense. Thank you.
thanks for all your work on that rules. Committed project.
I have no comment.
Bill?
I was going to thank John for all of his hard work on the Rules Committee. And I've talked to him a lot about issues as we go along. I think I'll have to talk to him more with the employee handbook and the connection to some of the rules.
That'll have to be done.
Yep, so, thanks, John.
Dr. Corman?
Anybody have anything else at this time?
Dr. Masomo?
I would also, as chairman of public safety, like to be apprised of things that affect public safety, including but not limited to the police department and the fire department, number one. Number two, so the two resolutions today, one says that the solicitor, the mayor, and council shall communicate. Well, it says, and the other resolution says, the mayor shall use the employee handbook, the charter, and Ohio Revised Code. I don't understand what's so bad about that. I'm not sure why any citizen would object to this. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to show appreciation for all the work that Tom and John have done on the rules. We will make every effort, and we've all agreed that there was a real need for amendments of the rules to clarify them, and they will be implemented. So thank you. Motion to adjourn,
I make
please.
a motion to adjourn.
Second, please. Thank you.
Who wants a second, please? Thank you. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Any opposed?
No votes.
Meeting is adjourned at 8:19 p.m.